So one of the things that I struggle with in that class is how to give them frequent and substantive feedback on their writing. It's so important to the writing process, and perhaps the best way to do that would be individual conferences, but it's really difficult to schedule that in the confines of the classroom and then still have the rest of the class continuing in a productive way. Eventually what we did is I have an iPod Touch that the school was nice enough to give me, and I can record it on the iPod Touch using the microphone, and then right from there with the internet connection, email it to the students directly. So I say my piece, do my spiel, talk through the reading of their paper, and then email it to them. They get that immediately. This is in general a successful review. So I think that maybe one thing you could do would be develop the introduction a little bit. Stylistic choices, mainly with repetition and parallel structure, work really well. They give it a nice rhythm. I like the fact that I can get much more in depth, much more substantive with my comments in the same amount of time that it takes me to write something down, quicker sometimes. So it doesn't solve the problem that I have to spend hours and hours with each assignment, commenting on it and assessing it. But it does allow me to be much more productive with my time. So the 5 or 10 minutes that I narrate a voice memo, and they're usually about 5 to 7 minutes long, that comparable amount of writing time, I just can get to so much more with the spoken stuff. And I think that would translate well to any writing experience. One of the things that's important to me as a writing teacher, especially a writing teacher working with writers that have moved beyond maybe the emergent stage and they're getting a handle on their craft, is to really utilize the classroom as a writing community, which every writing teacher talks about that and does it in different ways. But I try to do that by, one, making them very accountable to each other as audience members, and that they are part of the audience, that this isn't an audience of one that the writers are writing for, that they're very much writing for the classroom community. And there's ways that we do that. We do blogs, and they'll comment on the blogs, they'll do informal writing and share it. And they'll do workshops, and I tend to be describe very clearly early on what my expectations are for workshops, do a lot of modeling early on, and then allow them to develop their workshop skills. And I think one thing that's been really successful in my classroom over the last few years is that those workshop sessions become very valuable to the students in their writing process. In general, they've been really positive. I think it's been overall a real success, and I've fine-tuned it. It's been a process, a learning process over the 3 years or so that I've been doing about the best way to respond, best way to ensure that they listen to it. That was one of my concerns, is that they actually sit down and listen to it. I think every English teacher's had that experience where they spend seemingly hours writing these comments on papers, and the students see it and get their grade and throw it away and don't look at one of them. And so I've put into place procedures to ensure that they've actually listened to it and are incorporating it into their writing. And I think it's been a success. As far as I can tell, everybody listens to their comments. They listen to it and they seem to take it to heart. I have them do feedback on the commentary and talk about what they agree with and disagree with, and how that's going to play into their revision plan for the paper. And so they engage in ways that are thoughtful. And this is all at the end of a lot of in-class workshopping that it goes through. So they get a lot of feedback all the way through the process from their classmates, and then this is the final one that I give. And I try to include mine just being another voice in the process of the writing.